Greetings fanboys and fangirls, Jared here with another video review from Fanboys Forever. And today we're going to be having a look at a toy that I've been hotly anticipating for quite some time, and that's the brand new Godzilla x Kong New Empire Heat Ray Breath Godzilla RC. Now this toy comes to us courtesy of Jada Toys, and typically, I don't review a whole lot of their stuff here on the channel because usually they're not necessarily in the market of things that I look at here. But I will say that just based on outward appearances, this has been the Godzilla toy from the new movie that I've thought has looked the most accurate so far. And just based on that alone, and some reviews that I've seen, I thought, well, I'm definitely going to give this guy a shot and see what all the fuss is about. Now, what makes this different than most any other toy that I ever really review here on the channel is this is an RC toy. So yes, it comes with a remote and batteries and all of that. And this guy can actually move. And so it's something that's really exciting. It's something a little different. So I'm really looking forward to it. There's some really cool features like a simulated heat ray breath. Very important that they say simulated so that, you don't think he has actual heat ray breath. Realistic stomping action and lights and sounds. And he does have a try me feature here on the box, but you know what? I'm not going to do it just yet because I don't think that just the try me feature can really do this justice. I want to wait for you to be able to see it in its full glory. Before then though, we'll just look at the box. I really like this packaging. I think this packaging does a great job of selling the figure, and the marketing people, the brand team, whatever you want to say, that's been responsible for the packaging artwork and the art direction, and the Playmates toys, follow suit as well. It's just amazing what they've done because I love the combination of the pinks and the reds and the purples, and they've really done a great job. Even the renders that they've used for like Godzilla's new form, just fantastic looking, and I love that yellow like caution tape trim everywhere. That's a really good feature. I especially like that they have almost like a comic panel up here of Godzilla's face so you can see him a little bit better. On the side, we have more of that great render. On the other side, we have much the same. And looking at the back of the box, we can see a really great product shot of Godzilla. And, the actual product looks just as good or better in the box than what we see back here. But it talks about the stomping action, the tail whip, and of course that Heat Ray Breath RC and the energy spines, and this really cool looking controller. And in case you're looking for this guy, we do have a barcode right there, if that helps you out. It does include all the batteries you're going to need. Of course, this was purchased with my own money, and I found it at my local Walmart. It was actually $45, which I consider to be quite a deal, which is quite a bit less than the price I'm seeing for it online. So Walmart is definitely going to be your best bet. I know that some folks had found this at Target, but I think this price is also lower than what Target was asking as well. All right, with all that out of the way, let's free Godzilla from his prison. And here we have Goji out of the packaging. So definitely a lot has been said about Godzilla's new form that he has in the new movie. Of course, it is important to note, if for nothing else than posterity, that this video is being filmed at the end of January 2024, so we don't have a whole lot of knowledge about how this new form comes about or how Godzilla evolves into this, but definitely some theories online, but we'll just have to see what happens. I think the biggest complaint that I've seen from folks is that Godzilla is too thin, or he's kind of lost too much of his chunkiness that people love, which I do too. I think it looks great. I think this toy is a really, really good way to sell the new form, because you can see that yes, Goji has lost the weight, and I think that it looks really good. The design, I think, holds up. I think it looks nice, and it looks good from different angles. It amazes me just how much better the design looks here rather than like the Playmates toys that we've seen. And this seems a lot more accurate to the trailers and things that we've watched. Before I go any further, it is important to note that this background you're seeing, if you didn't watch my Ultraman video, which I do suggest you watch the Ultraman Towards the Future Retro Spectacular, this is the Clash and Thrash playset that came out in '92. So it does make a cool background for kaiju kind of related stuff. But yeah, this sculpt is just fantastic. I think that the best part of it is just how deep all the texture is, and you won't see this kind of texture work, currently anyway, on any other toys representing Godzilla's new form. you can see that it's a very deep kind of scaling that we see, which the scales are a lot more prominent, it seems, on this new form of Godzilla. And the same goes for the back spikes, you know, how they're all pink this time. Certainly a lot more prominent here, and the details are just so much more impressive, especially right around Godzilla's neck. You can see just how all those kind of ridges come together there, and it just looks so good, especially because this is all like a rubbery material up here. As a matter of fact, it's sort of hollow up here, which is a-okay, because this is an RC toy. This isn't exactly the kind of thing where, you know, you're going to be posing them in different ways because you're going to be controlling them with a remote. So I don't really have my same gripes that I usually would about articulation and things, because, you know, you're not going to expect that with something like this, or at least I wouldn't. You can see that as a result of that, these arms right here, even though the rubber is fairly thick, there's not anything really in them. They're pretty much hollow. And it's fine because, you know, the whole purpose is to keep all of this light up here. And all of your action is going to be handled with the tail and the legs trying to move him back and forth. So that's something that you have to keep in mind with this Godzilla. I mean, if we want to nitpick or whatever, I think the weakest angle is definitely straight on. And why? Well, it's because they didn't paint the teeth. And I'm going to rectify that. I'm actually going to be painting these teeth with just some acrylic. You know, I'm a little bit of an amateur painter myself, and I have tiny little brushes for that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be painting the teeth and cleaning up the mouth just a little bit. But really, other than that, I think that everything else just looks spectacular. And I know that this side has a lot of the screw holes, but you can say the same exact thing about like the Playmates Giant Godzilla. So it's definitely not a trade-off you wouldn't see anywhere else. And it's not that noticeable because of how dark that they went. And that's something I really appreciate. They went with a very, very dark color, almost a black for Godzilla. And honestly, the base of his flesh should be this dark. I have seen customizers do some incredible things with this. And so it tempts me to also try it as well. And I might. Let me know down in the comments if you would like to see a video like that. And I think this is really impressive that the detail goes all the way through the tail as well. Everything below the chest and the arms and the head is this hard plastic, except when you get back here to the tail. And then you kind of have more of that rubber going on again. But there's something inside to make it do the tail action, which, you know, we're going to be seeing that, of course, as he swipes the tail back and forth. Like I said, as for articulation, this is not that kind of toy. If you're making the legs move, you're making them move, you know, independently of the electronic action feature. But it is possible, you know, you can flex them a little bit up and down, but that's kind of it, you know. With the arms, you can kind of do this. But like I said, this is hollow rubber in here. But I love it because it gives it that cool, real feel, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like what you think Godzilla might actually feel like. Other than that, we can see that they did not paint the claws on the hands, nor did they paint the toenails down here. But again, that's not a very big deal, and especially when you see what this guy does, which is the big thing. That's the selling point for this. Let me go ahead and show you how it works. Down here, we have an on and off switch, and the batteries come pre-installed, so all I've done is just turn it on. You get an instruction sheet. So this just tells you if you have to replace the batteries, where they go, and what the controls do. Also, back here we have assembly instructions. I did have to connect the tail. You uncap a little plug in the top of the head and you put water in. It does say to use tap water, so it says not to use bottled water, who knows. Anyway though, here's my tap water. And you get the flimsiest piece of the whole package, which is this, you know, barely there plastic dropper, but it suits its purpose just fine. And looking down at the head, they very cleverly disguise the area where you put the water in with the one spike right there. Now, like I said, if you do want to activate the action feature in the Try Me mode, you press on this one behind it, but I'm not going to do that just yet because I want to show you the intended function. So, of course, all you got to do is get your water out of there, and there we go. I'd say it probably doesn't take a whole lot of this. And we're just gonna put some in there, just gonna drop it in. And I just emptied out everything I could from there. Hopefully that's enough, because this is the first time I've done this, so we'll see if it's a fail or what it is. I'll show you that we have this remote. Now to turn it on and make sure it's activated, I just press the button to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to. But if you press this, there's no going backwards for Godzilla. He can only go forward. And there's actually little wheels on the bottom of the feet to keep him running smoothly. So I'm just going to press the forward button. And if I hold it down... Okay. If you don't think that's cool, you're lying, because that's awesome. I love how it makes the sound effects in sequence with the feet. And I think it knows to do that because you can see that the toenails like have a little give, and maybe that's just to help him walk more smoothly. I don't know, but it's synchronized very, very well. Now the other cool thing is that there's a left and right button too. So you can actually see him kind of turn, but his tail whips because of that. So I'm turning left, and you can see he actually turns to face camera. So that's pretty cool. Oh, he's already whipping buildings apart back there. Now to turn the other way, of course, you know, I'd hit right. And I'm surprised by how well he turns, actually. So you could actually navigate. It would actually be kind of fun to kind of try to navigate like a maze with this Godzilla. You can see how precise that was, by the way, where it made the stomping noise as soon as I got the foot in that perfect position. Okay, we also have some shoulder buttons on the controller, which I had no clue about, that there would be shoulder buttons like a video game controller. This kind of reminds me of a 360 controller, right? The right one here is the roar. So you press it and... absolutely chilling. Fantastic. But I think I know why we're all here. And that's the heat ray breath right here. So what I'm going to do is dim some of my lighting just a little. All right, kids, I hope you're ready for this. I hope I'm ready for this. So all we have to do is hit the heat ray breath button right here on the left trigger, and oh my gosh. That's incredible. That's great. Oh man, that is incredible. Gosh, just the absolute effect of that, and it just looking so believable as a heat ray, and yet all it's doing is it's just atomizing that water right there. And that's it. As the instructions are careful to point out, no actual heat is generated. When you have something that is relatively cheap and can just make me laugh maniacally the entire time it's happening, this has the potential to be a classic toy. I don't say that lightly, because toys are my business here. You know, that's what I study. I'm a student of it. But this does have the potential to be a memory maker for kids and adults like me for generations. Like, this is, I'm not joking. This could be one of those. And here's Goji and a little bit of dimmed lighting, and we're going to try it out. Yes. It's amazing. And you know, I keep feeling this down here because I'm thinking, okay, is this gonna like soak this kind of cardstock base down here? And no, it's really just a mist. It's not getting anything wet or anything like that. So that's another added bonus, I guess. I don't see any monsters surviving that. I think they're doomed when Godzilla's atomic breath, you know, or as they say, heat ray breath. They don't want to say atomic. When that hits, I think it's over. I don't think you'll survive. I think it's done. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's a celebratory roar. You know what? Godzilla may have just decided that he's just done with us, so he's out. He's like, I'll see you later, man. It's been real. And of course, we need to see it, I think, in relative darkness. Jeez. Oh, man. Okay, it's even cooler with the lights off. Oh, my hand! I think, you know, it's hard to say what my favorite part of the whole gimmick really is. I think it's the anticipation and the buildup of seeing like each section light up. And that's incredible because, you know, as funny as it is, and this isn't the same movie, but it's the same character, I guess, is in Godzilla -1. You know, before Godzilla does the atomic breath, you see the spikes, you know, they kind of like plunge out at sections. And that's what this brings me to. And so it's just an epic thing, you know, to see it. And it definitely calls to mind scenes from my favorite movie this past year. So that's an added bonus. I kind of wonder how many shots of the heat ray breath that you can do before you have to refill the water. So I just don't know. There's so many possibilities here. All right, I'm going to set up the city so that he can have something to destroy. All right, guys, I have a path of destruction, kind of a little obstacle course set up for Godzilla. We're gonna have a roar to intimidate Scar King over here. All right, definite show of force here, so let them fight. There we go. Taking out the building. I see him stepping on a car there. Yeah. Oh, he's not happy. He is not happy. All right, keep going, Godzilla. Yeah, crushing the bridge as we go. Oh no, what's happening? Godzilla, he looks angry. I don't, what? Good Lord, no. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that made Scar King shake. He trembled. But you know what? Let's just, it's going for the kill. Oh yeah. Take that. Yeah. Godzilla. Woo! There we go. Finish him off. Oh, but what's this? Godzilla cannot be satisfied. He is now whipping buildings apart. Oh my gosh. Horrible. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, there one went. Look at this. Just whipping as he goes. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Oh, the humanity. Oh no, there goes the children's hospital. All right, here we go. The tail whip is how you can get most of the destruction, but it also kind of serves as a rudder to turn him. All right, I think it's safe to assume that after that beatdown, Scar King has indeed tapped out for the evening. The play experience is really great. You're gonna find that most of the destruction that you can do, you know, knocking things over and all that, can be with a tail. You know, if you put too many obstacles in Godzilla's way, he's gonna get hung up, he's gonna stall out. And you never know, you know, replacing it with some really fresh batteries, it could supercharge him a little bit. Might have a burning Godzilla effect on this guy. The only tip I would give to them on the play experience, I think it would have been great if there was like a reverse button, you know, somewhere. But there isn't. You can only move forward, and I find myself wanting to go like back to try a turn again, but it's always, you know, moving forward. I mean, to be fair, I can't tell you the last time I saw Godzilla like step back. He's always moving forward. I totally get that. And probably the momentum of the thing and the way it's built was not meant to go any direction but forward. So I'm sure there's technical reasons for why it doesn't do that, but you will find yourself, I think, reaching for a back button that doesn't exist. I am surprised by how well the left and right works, but there is sort of a delay on him turning left or right, so you kind of have to learn to anticipate when those turns are coming. So I definitely want to show you scale here. This is a NECA Godzilla. This is GMK Godzilla, one of my absolute favorites, of course. And you can see that he dwarfs, you know, anything like that. He's probably, I would say, easily about double the size almost of a NECA Godzilla. So he's probably more around, you know, 15, 16 inches tall, 24 inches long, something like that. And then you have new things like the brand new giant Kong from Playmates, which I've not uploaded the review yet. And you can see that I actually think that's a really good scale for these two, because Kong is a good bit smaller than Godzilla in those movies, and I think it does look pretty accurate. I think Kong, you know, is probably a little bigger than what he's being portrayed here, but it's not the worst thing in the world. You know, you can kind of get them running forward So like we see in the trailer, which I think is awesome, by the way. So that's actually pretty cool as well. And of course you already saw what Scar King looks like. We honestly don't know about Scar King's size yet in the movie, so it's untelling what he'll actually be. I do want to show you one final comparison that's going to help bring some things into focus. And that comparison, of course, is to look at the giant Godzilla Evolved here from Playmates. Now, I haven't, of course, opened him yet to do the review, but I think you get the idea here. One is very soft in terms of detail, and the other seems like a legitimate collector's item. I mean, if you just saw this on a shelf, without any modifications, without any of the things that I plan on doing, like painting the fingernails and painting the teeth and things like that, maybe even adding a little wash and highlighting work, you would still see it as a really massive, you know, like statue kind of thing of Godzilla. Even this little joint down here is hardly noticeable because of the dark color. But with this, you know it's a toy version. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, that's the way it is. It's this lighter color, and this is larger. I think this picture speaks for itself. Honestly, I really don't hardly have any notes for this figure. It is just right on. It does everything that I wanted it to do. It is so cool, and I think that any kid would love it for the play features. I think most adult collectors will adore it for what a great sculptural representation of Godzilla it is. It is so impressive. I really have just, I feel like I've gotten my $45 worth and more. So I'm so excited to add this guy to my collection. And I would implore you to do the same, because this guy absolutely rocks. But with all that being said, if you've enjoyed the review today, be sure that you like and of course subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below with what you think about this guy, and let me know if you plan on picking him up or not. I absolutely can't wait to do some extra little modifications to this guy, get the teeth painted up and the claws, and kind of bring him to that next level. I think it's going to be an incredible piece. I'm really looking forward to that process. And as always, God bless you and yours, and I'll see you on Fanboys Forever. Fanboy out, and Godzilla out, because he's leaving. Bye, Godzilla. See ya. Oh God. No. He's out. He's like, I'll see you later, man. It's been real. Oh my gosh.